friends, it's Catherine from Moonstarlodge, and I'm doing a little bit of a midweek pop-up to review some of the new decks that I've been working with. People always leave comments or send me emails and ask me my opinion. So I thought it might be better for the collective if I actually talked about some of the decks. And of course, the opinions I'm expressing are my own. You certainly need to use your own discretion if you're choosing to buy these. But I'm giving you my opinion as somebody who's collected tarot since 1974, and oracles, sorry, tarot and oracles and other forms of divination. And I'm not rolling in money, so I need to assess my investments and whether it's just, the same old, or whether a new deck has some value, something it can give me that's different. I own now, moving into 1,200 decks, and of that 1,200 in my library, about 100 of that number is reference material, some very archaic and arcane books that you can't get anymore, that sort of thing, that I use as reference material. So we're talking about 1,100 decks. So I'm getting kind of cautious. I don't buy everything, and I don't want to buy everything. Can't buy everything. But if a deck is good, I'm going to applaud it, and I'm going to give you my thoughts. So let's have a look down at these cards. So this Moons and Stars, which I'll start with here, is, how about I push the other ones out of the way? What I'm going to be talking about are the Moonology Original Oracle cards and the Moonology Manifestation cards. These are both by Yasmin Boland, and they're Hay House Mass Market. I'm going to be talking about the Star Codes Astro Oracle by Heather Rowan Robbins. Again, it's a Hay House product. The Moons and Stars Tarot by Jane Wallace, which I used in this past week's readings. I've got the AlcheMysticalTarot by Sarah Roberts, which was a Kickstarter project. The Spacious Tarot, which is mass market, and something called the Morgan's Tarot. Now, the Morgan's Tarot is not new. It's been out since 1970. It's the weirdest, wildest thing, and I'm going to do a video on it and what you might want to do if you get a hold of it. It's 88 cards. It really shouldn't be called a tarot, but it's very 1960s, very hippy-dippy, the world is love kind of stuff, but it's thoughtful, and I'm preparing to use it as a oracle clarifying deck in a main sense of the way. So I'm going to do a special video on it. I'm telling you this in advance so that if you wish to get a copy, they're very hard to get. I have one that I brought in that I'm willing to sell. So if you're interested in this Morgan's Tarot as a collector or as somebody who wants to figure out how to use it, by all means, go ahead and do that. And you'll see this come out in the next couple of weeks, that how to use the Morgan's Tarot video. So I'm going to get rid of it because it's really not part of today. All right. So let me move these out of the way so we can have some space. And I'm going to start with the Moons and Stars. Now, if you are an Amazon user, you're going to recognize this was on as a pre-order on Amazon. And so I pre-ordered it some time ago, because of course somebody whose spirit name has Moonraven in it and who runs Moonstarlodge is into celestial things. The box is nice. It's easy to access. It's got one of these little metallic clips on it. The booklet is reasonable and it's in color. That's great. So if you're accomplished, I would say an average skill level, you're going to be fine. This deck is a pip deck, so it follows more the Marseille system. And we have things like, here's the Ace of Cups, the Six of Wands, Here is a court card, the Queen of Cups. So it's standard major arcana labeling and standard minor arcana suits, but they are pips. So here's the Lovers, the Five of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, and you can see what I mean by pips. Let's get some of the other cards here. So here's the Tower card, and it's not necessarily just lightning, but also knowledge, and there's spirit beings. So people are falling out, but this is transformation, and it's transformation from a number of levels. So I quite like that one. This is the Star. Excuse my fumble fingers. So it's beautiful art where the art exists. Death, nothing gory, nothing scary. You could use this in a reading for others. The Magician. You've still got the lemniscate here, the symbol for the all that is, Alpha. Here's the Emperor with structure. So beautiful cards. The card quality is a little thin. I don't think it's going to chip though. Very easy to work with. Am I happy with it? The first day I got it, about 3 weeks ago, I went, meh. Uh-oh. What did I invest in? But I've flipped 180 degrees the opposite way now with this. So is it worth it? If you don't mind the pip cards and you're into Marseille concepts, absolutely. The next deck I'm going to review here is the Star Codes Astro Oracle. And I saw this previewed on Hay House emails. And this is the one by Heather Rowan Robbins. When I first looked at the box, I thought, okay, I've got about 50 different astrological things. Do I really need another one? But I trust that the cardstock would be good because Hay House has gone to much better cardstock, and they always have this very in-depth book. No little white book here. What threw me off was this, the complexity of the art. I have some visual impairment, and I found this quite, like, here's the Capricorn card. I found this hard to focus on, and I really had to study. The Emum Quelli, okay, which represents in astrology our karmic past. This isn't too bad, 4th house, but some of these cards are very complex. Like here's one that just like, whoa, where do you start? It's like, what do you focus on? It's the 3rd house. Okay, so this is a situation where I really had to sit down with the cards and actually use them and not judge them by my initial impression. When I actually got reading the book written by Ms. Robbins, I was gobsmacked, as the Brits say. This is extremely well done, very thoroughly researched. And if you read into her background and understand the depth of her training, you understand that, and this woman blends palmistry with astrology, which is something I had an old interest in, and it might be repeated again because Brian found a palmistry deck, and I didn't bring it into this video, but I will. Is it worth the money? Oh my heavens, yes it is. It's Hay House, it's mass market, so it's not uber expensive, and it does give information that isn't in your generic astrological deck. So yes, this one gets a definite thumbs up for me. Another one that I wondered about was the Yasmin Boland Manifestation Oracle cards. These are brand new ones. If you remember, if you follow Yasmin and do any of her free workshops or have taken any of her paid workshops, you know that the Moonology is the original deck. I wondered about this as maybe perhaps a duplication, if this sort of lunar astrological thing was kind of a one-trick pony and I didn't need the second deck. What had to happen for me was a walkthrough with Simon from, I believe it was the Hermit's Cave. I can't remember whose walkthrough I saw, but then I looked at another couple of walkthroughs. And I realized these cards are very different from the original deck. So the new manifestation cards are here by my left hand, and these go through each of the 4 phases of a moon cycle. So there are 48 cards. And so, you know, Aries, Taurus, and so on. So here's the new moon in Taurus. I've mixed these cards up because I've been using them, so they're not in the order that they come in from the deck, or from when you first buy them. So the full moon in Virgo, the first quarter moon in Virgo, full moon in Pisces, this sort of thing. You're not using them necessarily in the actual astrological sign that they are assigned to. What these cards are asking you to do is bring the energy that's represented by the card into your current life situation. Being Hay House, good quality cardstock and deck. But what I found myself doing this week was actually mixing the cards together and using them blended. That expanded the scope for each deck. And so, yeah, I actually ended up bringing a few extra copies when I got a wholesale deal into my studio. And I don't sell decks. I just don't. I'm an artist. My husband's an artist, and we work in Indigenous arts, education, and spirituality. But the Moonology decks are part of our culture because we are dealing with lunar astrology when we talk about the moon signs. The next deck has been out for a while. It's also available in the mass market. It's called the Spacious Tarot. And the Spacious Tarot is by Carrie Mallon and Annie Wright. I hope I'm saying that. This is an extremely unique deck. I didn't have any qualms that this would be a good deck because there are no people in the deck. You see everything from the perspective as if you were the character. So you're looking away from you. So there's the Two of Cups. The Child of Swords. So this crow is actually looking upside down at the swords to get a different perspective. This is like the Page of Swords. So you do have the same minors, but you do have different court cards. So the Wheel of Fortune. So we've got a wreath and spirals, the goddess spiral. Here's a beautiful card. The Explorer of Pentacles. So this is like the Knight of Pentacles. So you've got this bear wandering in the wilderness and he's kind of bogged down here. The Nine of Pentacles. All right. The Seven of Cups. Justice. Wow, what a different card. Here's the Chariot. So you don't see a chariot, you don't see horses, you don't see the black and white pillars. You're seeing this as if you're in the chariot and you're moving forward. That's what's beautiful about this deck. The Emperor is a poppy. The Fool, another example. Here's the edge of the cliff. You don't see the dog. You don't see the little traveler's pouch. You don't see the dancing fool. But there's your trajectory. The Five of Wands. So there are aspects of this that have a little bit of pippish quality, but you do have background scenery here to help you define what's going on. I used these in a recent reading over on YouTube and also on Instagram, so you can refer to those if you'd like to see them in action. But here's your Temperance card. Okay. The Nine of Swords is a little bunny. The Elder of Cups. So this is the same as the King. It's a fish looking out of his cup. or looking out down here from one cup to the other. This is Strength. Wow. This is a beautiful card. The Elder of Swords. The same as the King of Swords. So, I get electric parasympathetic nervous system response. And if you're one of my students, you know exactly what that means. That's a representation, like Kundalini, of your connection to Source. Do I suggest these for people? Don't stop. Open up your phone, hit the Amazon button, and let her rip. Last deck I'm reviewing today is one that was a Kickstarter, the AlcheMysticalTarot by Sarah Roberts. I'm suggesting this, although the Kickstarter is open and I just received these, you may be able to get them off Sarah's website, because I think that they're going to make this available from the website. Beautiful cardstock, very similar to Hay House. There's the backs. There's the book, very similar book. Let me see who the publisher is, if I can see this. The cover illustrations and the designs were by Chinkal Parik. It doesn't say on the box who the publisher is. I don't know why that's important, but oh, it's printed in Italy by Ludo Cards, and they have what they call the total ecological approach. So you know that they're doing this with the world in mind. This deck is very pastel, very blues and pinks, purples, whites. I looked at it. It's composite photos and background illustrations. This is the Nine of Water. Here is the Mystic of Fire. So you've got different court cards, but you have, what's different about this deck is you have over 90 cards, because there are 5 suits represented: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. You do not have cups, wands, swords, and pentacles or discs. You have the 5 elements. So the extra 14 cards in this deck represent the element of spirit. You have racial diversity, you have body type diversity, you have some very strong features in some of the cards. I'm not sure how the lion feels being sat on here by the female, but it's the Strength card. So no lemniscate, which is the alpha sign, no garland, no traditional RWS kind of iconography, but definitely these cards are very beautiful. I took them out of the box, and this is the 10 of Water, so resonance, a happy face, Ace of Spirit, Download, Seeker of Water. I took these out of the box, and even though there was an additional suit of cards, I used them right away. I resonate with them. I get the same parasympathetic nervous system response, chill, to them, which is a very definite, this is a beautiful card. The Two of Fire, Intention, is a gorgeous card. Anyway, if you can get them, and if you're drawn to them, definitely worth it. They've been well thought out. I find that they are easy to shuffle, easy to handle. With me having rheumatoid arthritis, my hands get very crampy and ache and hurt. And the last thing I want is to be distracted by that when I'm doing a reading. But certainly these are worth it. So you can flip the camera, Brian. So I hope this little walkthrough was helpful for you in terms of assessing where your funds are going. We're right at the time of the month where you can't flip your phone on or your tablet on or your computer and not see Black Friday ads. but a lot of the independent sellers, the artists and authors of decks, have little discounts on right now. So go to Etsy or go to their websites. This is a good time. And please don't forget this Morgan's Tarot. This is a crazy ass deck. I love it. Some people won't, but I'm a child of the 50s and 60s. So, you know, of course I'm going to resonate to things like this. Love. And I have some resources for you that will help you other than the little white book. So if you're game for this, watch for this particular video coming out. I'd like to thank you, and I hope this video is of some help to you. And Miigwech, please leave a comment, like the video. All these thumbs up help us with the statistical process on Google and how much they let this be available. And blessings. Miigwech, Nyoen, Aho.